Hi everyone, my name is Patricia A. Jackson and this is my writing muse and coach, Cinco de Mayo, or we just call her Maya. That's her way of saying, where are my cookies? Our first question today is, who are you and what do you do? Well, I am a mild-mannered English teacher, also a creative writing teacher at Central York High School in South Central Pennsylvania, but by night, I like to write science fiction and fantasy stories. Heavily on the fantasy, even though I do have a background in Star Wars. Well, that's easy. The book is called Forging a Nightmare, and it's an urban fantasy about an FBI agent who's tracking down a serial killer who is targeting people born with 12 fingers and toes. These folks are called the Nephilim. They are descendants of angels. And in order to stop the bad guys, the main character, Michael Childs, has to team up with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Maya was the muse for most of those horses. Well, someone told my mother that she wasn't baptized correctly, and that kind of set me off a little bit. You want me to believe in a pantheon of ghosts, but these ghosts are particular about if you got sprinkled with water or if you got drowned beneath the pulpit. I didn't think that was quite fair. But I also grew up with horses and a love of horses that just never went away. They say it's a phase. Yeah, not for me. I've owned horses since I was about 14 years old. And I always wondered if I could take my horse into some of the worst situations when I was growing up. My horses have been my confessors, my best friends, the ones I could tell everything. And Maya is definitely suiting that bill very well. Well, as a kid growing up, particularly as a Black woman, most of my protagonists were blonde hair, blue-eyed, and fair-skinned. It wasn't until Forging a Nightmare that I realized and appreciated who I was as a Black woman. And the character who helped me to do that was Anna Rains. Sorry, I gotta pay the toll here. Maya, do you want some more screen time? Back up, mama. Back up. Atta girl, atta girl. In any case, the book almost didn't get written because Annabelle was such a strong character, but it wasn't her story. I had to get Michael Childs involved, and I realized as I was going through the writing that Michael Childs was really me, not sure of who he was and what his place was in the universe. As a Black woman, it's difficult. You live between worlds. You're too dark-skinned in other places, and in other places you're not dark enough, which is a really sad testament to our society. There were a lot of horses that inspired the nightmares. One of them is over in the barn. His name is Indy. Maya is my personal favorite because her favorite speeds are slow and stop. And at my age and with my disabilities, that's about perfect. The adventure. I deal with a lot of heavy stuff when I'm at school with children who are having some issues, particularly after the pandemic. Sorry, have to pay the toll. So when I come home, I like to daydream. If daydreaming was a diagnosis, I would definitely be terminal. And I daydream about just galloping and jumping across country and having a good time. And that shows up a lot in my novels. That's a great question. Write the book from your heart. But you need to understand what the long game is. If you want to publish traditionally, there are some hoops that you definitely have to jump through, and there are some rules that you have to follow that apply to you. And a lot of writers feel, well, that doesn't apply to me. And if that's the kind of control that you want, fantastic, then consider self-publishing. But if traditional publishing is the way to go, hone your craft. If you want to own your craft, hone your craft. And that means writing it, editing it again, giving it to a friend, getting some feedback. I cannot emphasize the need of a really good writer's feedback group to give you some help along the way. Anywhere books are sold. Of course, you can order on Amazon, but I really support independent bookstores if you have a chance to get out for one. Oh, the dogs are out playing. In any case, you can find the book anywhere books are sold. You can also find it in ebook. I also recommend the audiobook, which is narrated by Corey Allen, who is a blacklister If you've ever seen the show The Blacklist, he is Blacklister 185. And sorry for like sweating to death. It's like 95 degrees here as we bring hell on earth with climate change. So in any case, my name is Patty Jackson, Patricia A. Jackson. I'm the author of Forging a Nightmare, and this is my muse, Maya, Dr. Maya. Thank you for coming along with our writing journey. If you have any questions, you can always find me on Twitter. You can find me on IG in a variety of names. I go by Birthright, and I also go by Tristan as well on Twitter. So peace, everyone. Have a great one.